Hey everyone, Dandelion Princess here, and it's October, so you guys know what that means. That's right, all this month I will be putting out Halloween-themed videos. Now, I do have quite a few planned for this month, but I will say that there are tons of other videos that I really want to get out to you guys. At the moment, I actually have several different videos in the works, so this month I will probably be working double time and not only bringing you guys Halloween-themed videos, but just my regular standard videos as well. So yeah, for this month my schedule may be a little bit different, and I'll probably be uploading a little bit more frequently. I'm gonna try to anyway. So, to kick things off and get into the Halloween spirit, today I'm bringing you my top 5 underrated Disney villains. These are just going to be Disney villains that, in my opinion, I think didn't get enough credit, and they just overall don't get a lot of attention from people. In some of these cases, it's not even really their fault. Sometimes the entire movie that the villain is in is underrated and not a lot of people have seen it. And I would definitely argue that that is the case with number 5, Radek from The Great Mouse Detective. Now, it's not that this movie isn't known or isn't loved, because it certainly has its fan base. But I really don't think this movie gets the recognition it deserves. And though Radek has never really been my favorite Disney villain, he was definitely very interesting to watch. I thought he had a pretty decent villain song. And I did really enjoy the ending fight scene between him and Basil. Number 4 on the list is Clayton from Tarzan. Now, with Clayton, I feel like just the majority of people didn't really like him as a villain, and thought he was just a little bit, too one-dimensional. But I do actually enjoy Clayton more than some other villains that have that same issue. Just because, say what you will, but Clayton is more interesting and more expressive. And I'm not sure why, but as a kid, I always found him very funny. Again, I'm not quite sure why, considering he's not Hades over here or anything. He certainly isn't doing anything to, try and be funny. And again, his ending fight scene with Tarzan and his death is actually pretty intense. It's definitely memorable, and I think that Clayton is definitely a memorable character. Number 3 on the list is Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2. Now, I don't think anyone has anything against this character as a villain. I just don't really see him talked about a lot. Honestly, I think Lotso from Toy Story 3 gets more attention than Stinky Pete does. I personally really enjoyed Stinky Pete as a villain because as a kid, I was very, naive, and it was very hard for me to, if there's a secret villain or something, for me to be able to tell, and that was definitely the case with Stinky Pete. I had no idea he was actually going to be the villain, and then when it was revealed, and I just kind of freaked out. I was like, wait, he's the one who turned on the TV and everything, and I'm just like, because he really didn't peg me as a villain. I think his downfall really is the fact that he is a secret villain and you don't find out until later in the movie, so he doesn't actually get a lot of time to be evil. But what he does with his time, I think, was done very well. And he's definitely more menacing than what you would think. And for a prospector doll, that's a pretty big accomplishment if you ask me. And number 2 on the list is Ozma from Emperor's New Groove. Now, I know there are quite a few people who like Ozma as a villain and as a character. But I don't know, personally, I do think she's underrated. I think Emperor's New Groove as a movie is underrated. It does have more tension than other movies, but it does kind of fly under the radar for certain people. I really enjoyed Ozma, and I thought she was just really funny and overall a good villain. My only real complaint would be the movie she's in. Don't get me wrong, I love Emperor's New Groove to death, and it was definitely one I watched tons as a kid. But unfortunately, because of the way that movie was structured, I don't know, to me, I found it hard to take Ozma seriously. Now, I know certain people can say that about other villains as well, such as maybe Hades and stuff, but I don't know, even though Hades was had a humor about him, I still found him, menacing and intimidating and saw him as a threat. And though there's nothing wrong with Ozma as a character, I feel like it's just hard to kind of take anything too seriously in Emperor's New Groove. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Percival C. McGlitch from Rescuers Down Under. Now, I've talked about him in my top 10 favorite Disney villains video, but I mean, come on, I don't ever see anyone talking about him as a villain. Again, I think this is partially due to the movie he's in. Rescuers Down Under is a really underrated movie to me. Though the movie was part of the Disney Renaissance, it really didn't get the attention some of the other movies that were in the Renaissance did. It just unfortunately got overshadowed. And honestly, in my opinion, the Disney Renaissance was the peak for Disney villains. I mean, we had Scar, Hades, Ursula, so many awesome Disney villains, and I think McGleach just really got swept under the rug. But honestly, I thought he was a great villain. He was intimidating, he was intense, he had a good balance of humor to him, and need I remind you of this scene?
Did you take one of my eggs? Open your mouth. These are not Joanna eggs. Let's see. The boy's got the eagle. I want the eagle. The boy won't give me the eagle. If I could just find the boy's weak spot, I could get him to tell me where the eagle is. But the boy's only got one weak spot, and that is the eagle. Maybe if I stuck him in a giant anthill, that would loosen his tongue, and then I got it! You got your hand caught in a cookie jar, didn't you? You think you're messing with, you dumb animal? My mental facilities are twice what yours are, you pea-brain.
It gets me every time. Okay. I don't even know why, honestly. Anyway, yeah, if you haven't seen Rescuers Down Under, go see it. But with all that being said, what do you guys think? Who is your most underrated Disney villain? And what do you think could have been changed to make them not underrated? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.